Almost half of Africa's workforce says their skills aren't being used in their current jobs, and that's according to the PwC Global Workforce Hopes and Fears Survey 2023. It further claims more than a third are looking for new employers as they feel the financial pinch. So to discuss the findings in more detail, we're joined by PwC Africa Workforce Solve the Future platform leader, Marthle du Plessis, joining me this morning. Thank you for your time and good morning to you, Marthle. I think before we get into the details of the survey, just please elaborate on how actually this survey was conducted. I mean, we're talking a global workforce here and countries literally around the world participating.
Absolutely. This is one of PwC's flagship surveys. It is done on a global level. More than 54,000 employees completed it across 46 countries. And in Africa, more than 2,000 employees completed it across 5 countries. So it really gives us a very good perspective how Africa's viewpoints differ from a global viewpoint.
And what we get from the survey, just in terms of what, employees are saying in as far as their skills are concerned.
Yes, interestingly enough, more than 60% of employees claim that they understand which transferable skills will be required for the future, but they are also saying that the skills that they currently possess hides behind job titles and job profiles, and that their employers aren't using the skills to the full benefit of the organization. We are also seeing, and it was specifically claimed by the World Economic Forum in conjunction with PwC, where it is stated that if organizations move more towards a skills-based foundation, that additional jobs will be able to create it. The number quoted is more than 1 million across the globe. So there's definitely a call upon organizations to look deeper into job profiles, focus more on skills, and establish and find those employees with the future-ready skills.
Also, Marthle, I mean, when we talk about the Great Resignation as, what is currently happening around the world and as far as employees are concerned, to what extent does the cost of living also contribute to employees resigning for, greener pastures?
That number has increased significantly if we compare it against last year's survey. More than 37% of employees in relation to 16% of last year said that they will be looking for new employment. And the reason is obviously to look for better opportunity, but it's also to look for purpose-driven work that resonates with their values. We are seeing the number of people that wants to work for a socially responsible organization that contributes more to than just employment are definitely increasing as well. But the cost of living is having a significant impact. We have seen from the employees' responses that if we look at the extremes, only 27% of respondents said that they can afford a little bit extra at the end of the month, versus 25% of respondents said that they have to have 2 jobs in order to make ends meet. So the increased cost of living is definitely taking its toll.
Yeah, I also find this, stats quite interesting, Marthle. 1 in 4. I mean, that's 26% of employees saying they're likely to change jobs in the next 12 months, seeing that uptick and increase from 19% last year. But also workers saying they're likely to change employers because they either feel overwhelmed, are struggling to pay their bills every month, or it's the Gen Z that actually has this sort of work behavior. What's then the responsibility here for company CEOs, given these numbers, to retain employees?
We are definitely seeing, if you look at the PwC CEO survey, we are definitely seeing that CEOs realize that their employees are either a detractor or an enabler to their strategy. And they are focusing heavily on upskilling of employees. In Africa, that number is 79% of CEOs. But it is critical for organizations to realize that they have to focus on business reinvention in order to be relevant for future customers through the services that they do provide. And you can only do that by harnessing the energy that comes from your people. So it is critical for managers and leaders to find ways to extract that energy and allow people to innovate, to create, and to perform.
Yeah, well, that's quite an interesting survey, and I would encourage everyone to get their hands on it and to read on it, especially if you're either part of the Gen Z generation or not. I mean, it's quite interesting where, depending on where you place yourself, because again, we've seen that younger generations, they're quite optimistic with the impact of AI and the possibilities that lie ahead. But with other generations, it might be a tad intimidating, and we might need to see a reinvention there in terms of our skills. But Marthle, thank you so much for speaking to me about this. Marthle du Plessis, PwC Africa Workforce of the Future Platform leader, joining me for this conversation right here on Newslink.